All right, raise your hand if you had the Carolina Panthers winning the NFC South Division for 2025 season started. Raise your hand right now. Put in the comments, yay or nay. Don't be shy. Don't sit there and be like, oh, I had them. No, come on, be honest. For me, I expected the Carolina Panthers to finish not only second place, but I had them go 7-10 and not be in the playoff contention because we have what we have seen last season in the 2 seasons, 3 seasons, 4 seasons ago, and etc. But now they're 8-7. They won yesterday over their divisional rival, first of the 2 games, 23-20. They will play them again in the final game of the regular season next month. And before that, they got to take on the Seattle Seahawks for the last home game of the regular season. So before I get to that, let me say this. I was worried about this game because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers literally owned the Carolina Panthers. At one point, they won 4 of the last 5 games against them, 9 out of the last 10. I mean, they've been beating their brains in since 2020. I mean, with Tom Brady and now with Baker Mayfield, it's crazy. And speaking of Baker Mayfield, he was 4-0 as a starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Carolina Panthers, and he has something to prove, even though we all know that he wanted out in Carolina instead. So don't let anyone fool you. Don't let him sit there and say that, oh, he was disrespected by Carolina Panthers. So anyway, the Carolina Panthers won the game because of what happened in the second half. Even though the defense gave up a long drive touchdown, and that's the second game in a row they gave up a long drive touchdown. In fact, this is the 3rd time in 2 games. They did it twice last Sunday against the New Orleans Saints down in the Big Easy, and yesterday at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. After that, it was, bend but don't break. You saw the first half with the offense for Carolina Panthers. It was like, night and day, is what we saw when they end up losing games. They don't take shots down the field, or they run the ball up the middle for the upteenth time. They play switcheroo between Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dahl, Second half, they did less of that and let Bryce Young be himself, roll out, throw the ball on the run, vintage Bryce Young, he throws the ball down the field these couple times and good things happen. I think it's more to do with the coaching than anything else. I understand they try not to, turn the ball over, but you got to stretch the defense out, give them something to think about. And they're like, okay, they're serious of throwing the ball down the field. They're not just going to, pound the rock all the time, And shout out to Latin Ransom, who made that game-sealing interception. He went from a 0 to a hero. Last Sunday's game, the controversial hit on Tyler Shuck, and, he was in the press conference yucking it up, admitting, selling the hit and all this other stuff. Carolina Panther fans and the Carolina Panthers media call it Bush League and all this other stuff. And at one point, there was this one writer who writes for the Carolina Panthers on the Sports Illustrated, wanted Latin Ransom to never play for the Carolina Panthers again after that one mistake. And that's all it was. It's a bonehead mistake. That's all I'm going to say. And he made up for it for that game-sealing interception. So shout out to him. Shout out to the rest of the defense and the offense and the coaching staff. Now all they got to do is, finish the job, win 2 last games of the regular season. Now with the Seattle Seahawks, I know it's going to be tough. Their defense, that's what concerns me, because I've watched, not watched, but I think there's this one game I can't remember. I think it was at home against the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, they just terrorized that unknown rookie quarterback. I mean, they just made meat of that guy. And then you have I call it the best game of 2025 last Thursday night, which is on Amazon Prime Video, when the Seahawks hosted the LA Rams. That was awesome. That was an awesome game. You had Sam Darnold go from ghost to, the real Sam Darnold. You know what I'm saying? At one point, Al Michaels called him Sam Bradford. I'm like, wait a minute, Sam Bradford? What in the world? Okay, whatever. So look, it's going to come down to this. It's going to come down to 2 things. Which team will make the least amount of mistakes, and which team's defense going to come through in the clutch. And we all know that when the Carolina Panthers are the favorite, they have lost 12 straight games. And yes, it's a thing. According to ESPN.com, that little indicator, no predictor, they have them, what was it, like 68 point something percent of chance of winning the game versus 31% for the Carolina Panthers. And once again, the Carolina Panthers are the underdog, and I like that, and let's keep it that way. If you make them as the favorite, bad things happen. So I expect the Carolina Panthers, hopefully they go, win back-to-back games. Not this hey, beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers yesterday, but next Sunday on CBS, they don't show up. They pull a New Orleans Saints. Oh my goodness, that's not good. Then they go down to Tampa and beat the Buccaneers in their building to win the NFC South. But I think they have to win at least one more game. I think it's against the Seattle Seahawks to win that division. I don't know how that works. I always thought that you have to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers twice to do that. So with that in mind, throwing y'all a salute. What's your thoughts on yesterday's game and next week's game? I will try to do Big Cat Thoughts video either on this recording or the PS4 Share Factory. And with that in mind, throwing y'all a salute. I'm out, and happy holidays and rest in paradise to Vince Zampella.